Hello, folks. Welcome back to Indaba, Africa. This is Chris in central Pennsylvania. 68-year-old President Idriss Déby of Chad was killed today on the 20th of April, 2021, in clashes with advancing rebels. Déby, who had just been reelected on April 11th for an unprecedented sixth term in a controversial election in which he received 79% of the popular vote, was a military strongman who had served under Hissène Habré's brutal regime before fleeing the country and seeking refuge with Muammar Gaddafi back in the 1980s. With support from Gaddafi in Libya, he later marched back into Chad and captured the capital of N'Djamena in December of 1990. Déby was at the front with his troops today when he engaged with the rebel Front for Change and Concord in Chad, known by its French acronym FACT, F-A-C-T. The group was founded in 2016. Somehow during this engagement, Déby was either injured or wounded. It remains unclear. FACT rebels are just one of many rebel and terrorist foes Déby has faced down over the past 30 years, often barely hanging on to power. In 2008, rebels nearly captured the capital before Déby was able to beat them back. As the millennium arrived, oil reserves suddenly appeared as a potential source of revenue for a country ranked 187th out of 189 countries on the Human Development Index. Now, there were plenty of do-gooders who stepped forward to hail the deal that led to construction of Chad's oil pipeline. The understanding was that N'Djamena would devote the bulk of its oil revenue to the economic and social welfare of the population. But, as was easily predictable, this fantasy would prove to be an illusion, despite the fact that NGOs and do-gooders claimed that this was a groundbreaking agreement so that there would be no resource curse and that the people in the country would benefit from oil revenue. Well, it was not to be. The moment that Déby was threatened by rebels as they approached N'Djamena, he stopped spending the money on schools and clinics and instead bolstered his army and never stopped after that. But whatever his faults, somehow Idriss Déby managed to hold Chad together for 30 years. It's an amazing achievement in itself. He proved to be an invaluable ally in the fight against Islamist militancy in the Sahel. He hosted the multinational joint task force that was organized for a couple purposes, most recently to beat back Boko Haram. He sent his troops into Nigeria to contain Boko Haram and contributed to the G5 Sahel force with an intervention in Mali. Wasting the oil revenue garnered after a $4 billion pipeline made exports possible will be one legacy. His iron-fisted autocratic rule another. But keeping such a fractious country together while facing endless conflict, both internally and that spilling over from Darfur, as well as the disappearance of Lake Chad and the ecological carnage as a consequence of that, dealing with Islamist terrorists and insurgents and Boko Haram, are all impressive achievements and will be part of Déby's legacy as well. Today, the government and parliament have been dissolved. A military council, a transitional military council headed by the 37-year-old General Major Mahmud ibn Idriss Deby Itno, will rule for 18 months. Of course, this is Idriss Déby's son, the 37-year-old Major General. Now, Déby's death marks the end of yet another long-serving African strongman who presided over corrupt regimes that did little for Africans, including his friend Muammar Gaddafi and the late Robert Gabriel Mugabe. Well, what exactly does this mean for Chad? More misery, folks. 18 months of military rule. It's not a promising sign. This is a country that's suffered since independence. Crazy situation. Some might wonder, what was a 68-year-old president who just won his sixth term doing in the front? Well, his entire life has been one of military, his association with the uniform, with his troops, and as I said, he survived one group after another. Finally today, apparently, FACT got Idriss Déby, killing a sitting president at the front lines. Quite an unbelievable development in Chad. Folks, as more news becomes available in Chad, we'll keep you updated. Yet more chaos in the Sahel. Unfortunate indeed. We just had a coup in Mali. Again, the second one after 2012, one in 2020. Another attempted coup just a few weeks ago in Niger, and now in neighboring Chad. The president is killed by rebels. Well, folks, that's it for today. Idriss Déby, April 20th, 2021, killed at the front lines shortly after winning re-election. And his 37-year-old son, a major general, has been appointed the head of the Military Transition Council for 18 months. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you here next time.